Hello everyone. I was talking with my cousin. Hey, since my cousin will be moving into her own studio apartment, I realized that she totally needs stools for her kitchen island, so I decided to make her some. Now, let's get to crafting. Start by cutting down the side of your hat and stop before you cut up. Next, I cut the outside of the hat away, and now we need to cut these stitches, or you can just cut strips from the side. Take your hot glue gun and one of your bottle caps and begin gluing it around the edge. Secure with glue and tuck in the end. And since there is a loop here, we're going to tuck this in there and hot glue it in. Hot glue the starting end with the ending end. And this is how the bottom of the stool should look at this point. Now we've already wrapped this once, but we're going to do it again, this time with the seam pointing up. Take a piece of felt and cut around the covered bottle cap. After you've cut out your circle of felt, take your hot glue and hot glue it to the bottle cap. And now we've made the base of our stool. With your ruler, make a 2.5 by about 1 1/4 inch rectangle on your thin cardboard. Place it on the piece of cardboard and cut around it. Now you should have two 1 1/4 by 2.5 inch rectangles. Next, take your cardboard and bend it around your stool seat, and then bend it to kind of crease it a little bit so that it will bend easier to your stool. Repeat on the second one. Next, take your two pieces of cardboard and glue one side together. Take your piece, wrap it around your stool, and see where the cardboard is sticking out. Now take your toothpicks and begin gluing them between the two layers of cardboard. Glue the side with hot glue. Take your ruler and draw a line across them 1 inch from the layer of cardboard. Then take your jewelry cutters or a pair of scissors and cut along that line. Now take a nail file and file down the rough edges. After you've sanded it down, take the same material that you wrapped your stool in and begin wrapping the top. As you can see, there is a seam along that edge, so begin by gluing the seam down like this. Take the edge and wrap it around to the back side and glue it down. Wrap around the edge and glue on the back. Don't forget to put glue on the edge. Trim and glue down. Now continue wrapping around by gluing your material around the edge and trimming it every time you reach the end. Next, take your material and trim away everything except for the seam, and then begin gluing it across the top. Next, take your ruler and draw a line about 1/4 inch from the top of the back of the stool. Take your jewelry cutters and trim it down. Sand down the edge. Next, take the base of your stool and the stool back and begin gluing it to the back with hot glue. Notice the toothpicks are still visible on the back. Take your leftover material and wrap it around the base, tucking the seam into the chair. Trim it and glue it on the edge, and then this is the back of the chair and this is the front of the chair. Measure 5.5 inches up from the base. You can cut this with an X-Acto knife, scissors, or a crafting saw. Once you have cut your dowel, sand the edges with a nail file. After you finish sanding your dowel, take the top of your chair, flip it, and put your dowel in the middle, and take your hot glue and begin hot gluing it in. Next, take a bottle cap the same size as the one for the chair and cut out a circle out of felt. After you have your circle, fold it in half and cut out a square. Next, take your chair, slip the felt over it, and hot glue it along the edges. Now take another bottle cap and cover it with the same material that you did the chair. Start to wrap around with the seam at the base, but do not let it go over the edge of the bottle cap. Trim the edge and glue it down. Take your material and line up the seam on the opposite side of last time and begin gluing it around. Next, take your material and we will be gluing it around the edge and bending it in. Once you're done wrapping it around the base, trim it and glue it down. And this is how it should look on top. Next, take a bottle cap the same size as your original and cut a circle out of felt. Now that you have your circle cut out, take the base of your chair and decide how big you want this circle to be and then trim it. Now cut out a square from the middle large enough for the base of your stool to fit through. Take the wooden dowel that is attached to your chair and slip it through the opening. Now set this aside for a moment. Take your hot glue gun and build a large amount of hot glue in the middle of your bottle cap. Take the top of your chair and place it in the middle of the hot glue and press the felt down. Hold it here until it dries. Take an extra piece of felt and cut out a triangle. After you've cut your triangle out, cut a half circle from the top of the triangle. Now glue this in place with hot glue and put it in a cone shape. And this is how the base of your chair should look. Next, fill in the base of your chair with hot glue. Once your glue is hardened, your project is done. Thanks for joining us today for this craft, and I hope to see you next time. Aren't you forgetting something? Yeah, don't forget to comment and subscribe.